kind of a retirement plan allows millions of people to lose 30 to 50% of their life savings just as they near retirement.
It's a society based on freedom and choice and personal responsibility. There are no guarantees.
It's important that people deal with someone to make sure to provide that guaranteed lifetime income.
Guaranteed lifetime income.
And now to our story.
Welcome to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich. Richard is the president and founder of the Secure Wealth Planning Group. Over the next 30 minutes, Richard will teach you how to turn your paychecks into retirement playchecks. And now, here's Richard Ehrlich.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. This is Richard Ehrlich, your host for Playchecks for Life. Looking forward to another exciting show with you this morning. Once again, I wanted to thank everybody that's been calling in. We've been getting a significant amount of feedback, and a lot of folks been coming in. We've been helping them untangle a lot of the messes that people have been getting into. And really, that is the essence of what we do here. Our focus, and our firm's focus, is to provide low risk, low volatility, high probability of successful investment solutions. And in addition, we help people separate the myths and misconceptions and replace it with facts and help them understand the questions they need to ask to make sure that they're making smart decisions with their overall financial and retirement planning. One of the things you want to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is that all of the different investment products and the insurance products, they're only there for one thing. And they're there to hopefully work together to ensure that you have the retirement that you've always dreamed of, one that has built-in predictability and stability and peace of mind so that you can do the things you want to do. We talk a lot about having that paycheck. You got to make sure those bills are paid. But as we always say every week, you didn't work your entire life just to make sure your bills are paid. So we also focus on making sure that you have a playcheck. Hey, you want to have some fun during retirement, so let's get to it. If you have any questions, please give us a call at 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. All right, so let's jump right into it. Folks, every week we talk about how we can effectively hedge against or eliminate the significant risks that we face in retirement. And in the past, we've talked about inflation risk and longevity risk and market risk. And these are all very important things to consider. Today, we're going to talk about a significant risk in retirement, and I would suggest in all investments, and that is tax risk. Now, none of us have any idea of what future taxes are going to bring. But let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. In light of this massive debt that this country is in, and the fact that we're paying off these significant wars and the wars that we're still in, and the healthcare issues that the country faces, Social Security, and the various different financial challenges that this great country of ours faces, what do you think? Do you think that it is likely that taxes will remain the same? They will go down in the future, or they'll go up? And I think anybody that understands how economics work, the fact of the matter is that regardless who is in office, I think they're all going to be faced with some significant challenges. And since the government uses tax revenue to finance everything when they're not printing money, it is very likely that tax brackets will increase over time. Now, they may not come out and say, hey, guess what, taxes are going up, but there's a very strong possibility they will eliminate deductions. And we're going to talk more about that during the show and how that's going to impact you during retirement. Once again, if any of this is of interest to you, you would like to find out more information, call us at 561-340-2667 or visit us at Playchecks for Life. So let's think about it. I often get asked, what are the fees that you charge, or review the fees that are in a particular financial product or investment. And I tell them the biggest fee they're going to wind up paying by far is taxes. In the first part of our show, we're going to highlight that. In the second part of our show, we're going to talk about how this can actually have a dramatic impact on you during your retirement years. And in the third part of our show, we're going to talk about what are some of the ways that you could potentially hedge against this or put yourself in a better position to keep more of the money that you earn. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that people think that the tax brackets are high today. While they're not low, back in the mid-50s, the highest marginal bracket was 91%. Let me say that again, 91%. That is very, very significant. Taxes are going to have the biggest impact on your retirement. And we've heard this many, many times during our lifetime, right? It's not how much you make, it's how much you're going to keep. And that's going to have a big factor in how you take money out in retirement. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this and how that could have a devastating impact on your retirement. Once again, any questions, please give us a holler at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com.
To start turning your paychecks into Playchecks, call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich. More in a minute.
Hey folks, I'm Richard Ehrlich. I'm from Secure Wealth Planning Group in Boca Raton. You know, as much as we'd like to think we learn from the mistakes of others, the truth is most of us don't. We learn the hard way through our own personal trials and tribulations. Our experiences, good or bad, make us who we are. Folks, here's what we know. We know that historically the markets have had significant corrections every 5 to 6 years, and it has been years since the last one in 2008. We also know that 80% of all market corrections occur between June and the end of October. Did your portfolio lose in 2008? Can you afford to make that same mistake twice? At Secure Wealth Planning Group, the investment strategies we use sidestepped market downturns during the last 2 corrections. What's your strategy? Call us at 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit us at securewpg.com. Folks, we don't need to keep making the same mistakes twice. You don't need to lose in order to gain.
Past performance is no guarantee of future results.
We specialize in retirement income planning for conservative individuals and couples who have successfully accumulated and want to protect a retirement nest egg. They are focused on creating a dependable, secure retirement income they can't outlive. If you are within 5 to 10 years of retirement, recently retired, or have been retired for some time, are you tired of volatile market fluctuations? Skeptical of conventional Wall Street wisdom? Looking to create and protect a dependable retirement income? We can help because we focus on creating steady streams of retirement income. Our expertise lies in more conservative investment choices. Speculative investments have no place in a retirement portfolio designed to create income and financial security.
To start turning your paychecks into Playchecks, call 561-340-2667 or visit playchecksforlife.com. We look forward to hearing from you. You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Richard Ehrlich. So today we're talking about one of the major risks in retirement, and that is the risk of tax management. And as we just said earlier, it's not how much money you plan on withdrawing in retirement, it's how much money you plan on receiving. So what we do for our clients is we put together a comprehensive income plan. But in that income plan, you have to be focusing on the net amount that you're withdrawing. We're going to give you some examples of that in a moment. I'd like to share with you a story about a client that I was introduced to. This was a retired physician, and he had $900,000 in an IRA account. Now, this gentleman was a very, very healthy 70-year-old, and his wife, who was about 10 years younger than him, worked. He didn't need the money. However, he reached that magic age of 70 and a half, right? We've heard that before, 70 and a half. What is that magic age? That magic age is when the United States government tells IRA owners that you must start taking out what they call the required minimum distribution. You may have heard of that, RMD. Well, this retired physician said to me, look, I don't really need the money. And quite frankly, why would I take that money out if I don't need it? And unfortunately, when I sat with him and his accountant, I had to break the news to him that he is forced to take that money out. Okay, fine. Well, this gentleman on a $900,000 account was forced to take out $30,000. He immediately had to write a check back to the United States Treasury for $10,000. So out of $30,000, he had to write a third of that money back to the United States government. See, the idea behind qualified plans, the IRAs, the 401ks, people are so enamored about putting money in at a pre-tax basis. Let me ask you a question. If we were a farmer and I said, look, either pay tax on 100 apple seeds or on 300,000 apples, which one would it be? That's exactly the concept of putting money in a pre-tax basis versus something you're going to pay taxes at the end by deferring the taxes over time. People are so enamored with these plans because they say, hey, I'm getting a tax deduction. Getting a tax deduction. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, all you're doing is you're deferring those taxes for a later time. If you'd like to find more information about tax-efficient planning, call us at 561-340-2667. We can do a tax analysis on your existing retirement strategies and investment portfolios, or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. So let's think about this, right? The whole idea here is we want to figure out how much money we want to put in our pocket. So if we think about what people like to say, hey, guess what? While I'm working, I'm in a high bracket, and then when I'm retired, I'm going to be in a blank bracket. What do people normally say? When they say, when I retire, I'll be in a lower tax bracket. Let's think about this, right? Remember what the goal of our show is. Our goal of our show is to separate myths and misconceptions and give you reality. Well, let's think about this. Let's use an example. When you're working, you earn $100,000. And let's assume for a moment that an individual is in the 30% tax bracket. So they say, I want to defer $10,000 into my company 401k plan. And let's use some simple basic math. At 30%, they have a tax savings of $3,000 in that 1 year. Now let's assume that they do this for the next 30 years. So 3,000 times 30 is $90,000. Let's say they've been fortunate that they've been able to save $1 million. I'm just using some hypothetical number. In year one, they say, hey, you know what? I'd like to start taking some money out. I'd like to replace that $100,000. So year one, the money gets transferred from their 401k into their IRA, and they take a distribution of $100,000. Well, do you know how that money is taxed, ladies and gentlemen? It's taxed at the highest possible tax bracket you could be in. It's taxed as ordinary income. So as if you are still working, that's the same way. Now let's go back to that myth of when you retire, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. Number one, if you are in a lower bracket when you retire, that means you haven't been too successful in your retirement because now you're earning less in 30 years from now than when you are now. But putting that aside, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. When you were working and you were earning $100,000 a year, was that the real amount of taxes that you were paying? Well, let's think about it. Let's consider you most likely had children as deductions. Maybe you had business deductions. You had a mortgage to deduct. Now you're retired. More than likely, your kids are out of the house, hopefully. Your house is most likely paid off. If you had a business, those deductions are gone. So if you have the exact same amount of income, and assuming tax brackets did not go up, that $100,000 of distribution, you are going to, in essence, be in a higher bracket because now you have nothing to offset that. So we take the $100,000 in year one of your retirement. You're all set. You're excited. I want to take $100,000 out. Out of that $100,000, now you have to pay 30%. You take out a check for $100,000 and you proceed to write a check back to the United States Treasury for $30,000. That's year one. Year two, you want another $100,000. Well, at the end of year two, we take out $100,000. We write another check to the United States Treasury to Uncle Sam for $30,000. And the third year, you're like, this is getting really unpleasant, but this is your retirement. You want to take another $100,000 out. And then you say, I like Uncle Sam so much, I'm going to write him another check for another $30,000. Now, folks, in the first 3 years of your retirement, you've just given back all of those wonderful tax breaks that you've received over 30 years just in the first 3 years of your retirement. Now, think about how that's going to impact you as you continue to take money out during retirement. By the way, folks, if you have any questions on this, give us a call at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. Now, folks, think about this for a moment. We talked about in one of our previous shows a major risk in retirement, which is longevity risk. So if you keep taking out $100,000 and now Uncle Sam is your new retirement buddy, as we like to call him, you're going to have to do one of two things. You're going to have to take out less money each year, or you're going to have to take a heck of a lot more risk in your retirement portfolio to make up for that 30% that you give back to Uncle Sam. So it's extremely important that you have a plan in place to ensure that you're maximizing the after-tax dollars that go into your pocket. Now, when we do comprehensive planning for our clients, we take into consideration all of the various different sources of retirement income. And keep in mind also that all this money you're taking out of an IRA or a pension, that has a detrimental impact on what you're going to be taxed on with Social Security. The thresholds are very low. And the fact of the matter is that by taking out these distributions, they get calculated on the front page of your tax return, and up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can be taxed. So the idea is to get as much income off the front page of that tax return and get it to the second page. If you have any questions on this, give us a call at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. We can certainly take a look at your existing retirement portfolio and your investment portfolio, evaluate your tax return, and look for the tax inefficiencies. See, folks, in our previous show, we talked about brokers versus fiduciaries. Brokers, they don't have any concern about your taxes, right? Their main goal is to sell products, all right? But now that you're in the whys and now you are equipped to ask the right questions, you realize that the significant impact that taxes can have on your retirement plans. Now, consider this. This is all in your retirement account. What about what we call non-qualified accounts? Investments that are held not inside of an IRA or a 401k, things of that nature. Well, let's assume that you have just a regular brokerage account. Now, I want you to think back to 2008. Did you lose money? More than likely, you probably lost a significant amount of money. So the value of your portfolio and your mutual funds went down significantly. But in the beginning of January, when you went to your mailbox, you got something called a 1099. And you probably ask yourself, how in the world could I be paying taxes after I just lost half my money? And ladies and gentlemen, that's another thing that you need to think about. Mutual fund managers have something called portfolio turnover. And they take the buys and the sells throughout the whole year, and then they distribute those gains to the mutual fund holders, i.e. you. And what is commonly referred to is the phantom income tax, right? You're paying tax on an asset you have not sold. It potentially and has gone down. And so not only have you paid after-tax money going in, you're paying taxes as the money is hopefully growing. And then you're going to pay tax again the third time when you take it out in the form of a distribution. And most likely it'll be in capital gains taxes. So you really need to consider the tax efficiency of your overall investment strategy, because just accumulating the money is only one part of the game. It's like a football game. Do you turn the game off at halftime? No. Accumulating the money is getting to halftime. Distributing the money during your lifetime and having a sound, safe, secure, and peace of mind retirement that's going to allow you to do the things you want to do, that's the second half. So most people have been with a broker for their whole life, but they say, look, you know what? Now I have to take a different direction here. I got to find how this money is going to last me as long as I can. And eliminating those risks in retirement are going to be paramount to allowing you to have that lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. When we come back, we're going to talk about what you can potentially do to eliminate some of these issues, and then we'll follow it up with the question of the week. Once again, I would reach at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com.
Playchecks for Life.
Are you serious? You're joking me. Are you pulling my leg?
What was that name again?
Playchecks for Life with Richard Early. More in a minute.
Retirement income plans are not just for the wealthy. As retirement nears, the traditional strategy has been to move growth-seeking products to more conservative, fixed income products. This may have worked fine back when retirement was only expected to last 5 to 10 years. These days, however, people are living longer. It's not unusual for some retiring at age 65 to live to age 90 or longer. You may need to plan for your nest egg to potentially last 25 to 30 years. One drawback to a longer life is the greater possibility of outliving your savings, creating all the more reason to develop a retirement income plan designed to last a longer lifetime. We can help you design a guaranteed retirement income strategy which incorporates insurance and annuity vehicles to create opportunities for long-term growth as well as guaranteed income throughout your retirement.
Exciting, isn't it? To start turning your paychecks into Playchecks, call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Like millions of Americans, you probably have questions and concerns about how to generate predictable and reliable retirement income. Most people have life insurance and a variety of annuities and other financial products. However, with Playchecks for Life, you'll have a dependable monthly paycheck you can rely on for your entire retirement. That's right. Let us show you how a steady income for your retirement is possible. Live your retirement the way you've always dreamed it should be with Playchecks for Life. Call the Playchecks for Life hotline right now.
Call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for listening. You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich.
Okay, folks, welcome back. This is Richard Ehrlich, your host for Playchecks for Life. So today we're talking about another big risk in retirement, and that's called the risk of taxes in retirement. And we've been talking about how to minimize the taxes at retirement. Remember, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. We keep talking about that over and over and over again. So let's think about this. If you're still working, we have to ask ourselves, is deducting money up front into our 401k or our tax-deductible investments the wisest thing? Well, now that you know the devastating impact and the significant taxes that you'll be paying on the back end, potentially not. If you have a 401k, one of the things that I suggest is that if you're working for a company and they're giving a match, fund it up to the match. Nothing wrong with that. So what if you have to pay taxes and somebody's giving you the money? That's not a bad deal. But after that, you want to be thinking about as much tax-advantaged money as you can get on the back end. That way, as tax rates increase, or even if they stay the same, you will have more money to put in your pocket when you retire. Sounds good to me. If you have any questions, give us a call, 561-340-2667, or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. Now, any of the additional funds that you have, you want to be considering financial products and financial strategies that are going to give you that after-tax money. And one of the greatest ones, one of the things that I recommend if people can qualify for it, is the Roth IRA. Now, you're not going to get the deduction up front, but when your account gets to that magic $1 million or whatever the number is, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? All of that money is yours. You're not going to be forced to take money out if you don't need it. And that is really terrific because guess what? When the time comes to take the money out, whether tax brackets are the same or they're 60%, you're going to take that money and put it right in your pocket. Okay, so one of the other things you can do, and we strongly recommend, depending on doing proper tax planning, is converting an IRA to a Roth IRA, either at once or over time. And the reason being is that if we think that taxes are going up in the future, well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Taxes are on sale now. So if you pay some tax now over time, then all of the future growth is in your pocket. That's kind of exciting. May want to consider other things like potentially look at municipal bonds. Another terrific tool, if you can get it through work, is a Roth 401k. And finally, and this, I'm going to put a big caveat on this, if it's done properly and it's designed for your benefit, i.e. fiduciary-based, not broker-based, and if there is a need for life insurance, and for the most part there is, we'll have a separate show talking about that, you can overfund a life insurance contract and take withdrawals at some point in the future in a very, very tax-advantaged way and use that as a significant source of supplemental tax-advantaged retirement income. Once again, if any of these things sound of interest to you, or you'd like to have us to do an analysis, or you just want to find out more information, give us a call at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. I just want to say thank you to all those wonderful people that have been calling in and coming in. We've been having a little bit of fun, and we're trying to just do as much as we can to help you folks out there make some smart decisions. All right, when we come back, we're going to just wrap up real quick with our question of the week.
You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich. Playchecks for Life. More in a minute.
Hey folks, I'm Richard Ehrlich. I'm from Secure Wealth Planning Group in Boca Raton. You know, as much as we'd like to think we learn from the mistakes of others, the truth is most of us don't. We learn the hard way through our own personal trials and tribulations. Our experiences, good or bad, make us who we are. Folks, here's what we know. We know that historically the markets have had significant corrections every 5 to 6 years, and it has been 6 years since the last one in 2008. We also know that 80% of all market corrections occur between June and the end of October. Did your portfolio lose in 2008? Can you afford to make that same mistake twice? At Secure Wealth Planning Group, the investment strategies we use sidestep market downturns during the last 2 corrections. What's your strategy? Call us at 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit us at securewpg.com. Folks, we don't need to keep making the same mistakes twice. You don't need to lose in order to gain.
Past performance is no guarantee of future results.
You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich.
Hi, folks. This is Richard Ehrlich, your host for Playchecks for Life. We've been talking about the impact of taxes on retirement. Before we get into our question of the week, remember, our firm focuses on low-risk, low-volatility investment solutions designed to help you bring the peace of mind in your retirement. So let's get right down to the question of the week. And this comes from Susan in Jupiter. Susan asks, what is the deadline for converting money from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA? Is it April 15th or December 31st? Susan, that's an excellent question. The conversion is taxable in the year the money leaves your traditional IRA. So you need to do your conversion within your tax year. For the most people, that will be December 31st. However, the funds do not need to be in the Roth IRA by December 31st, but they must be out of the IRA account by that date. Folks, this is one of the many reasons why it's so important that you work with a retirement specialist who is an expert in taxes and IRAs. Next time, when looking for an advisor, ask, do you do tax-forward planning? Without looking to the future, you're virtually guaranteed that there's money slipping through the cracks. Once again, thanks for everybody. Make it a terrific week, a healthy week, an exciting week. We look forward to speaking to you next week.
Exciting, isn't it? To start turning your paychecks into Playchecks, call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll be back again next week. Thanks for listening.